Hello, Colin. How are you?
Hey Darren, how you doing, man?
Wonderful. Such a pleasure to talk to you. I absolutely love the film.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sitting in a 300 plus seat cinema on your own with a studio rep, watching a 2 and a bit hour film
Whoa,
sometimes drags, but the
that's
pace of the film,
you can't get everyone together, maybe. It's a tough bar to
the-
clear.
trust me, it was worth it. And the pace of the film was great.
Thank you.
Was that always the idea to start off with, to have this like fast moving story within like 10 minutes of it kicking off, just go, go, go?
Actually, no. It started a little slower, to be honest. We started with that prologue that we dropped online for everyone to see, the Cretaceous era and the drive-in, and that really was the first 5 minutes of the movie. And once we had the whole film and realized, we wanted to get the story moving at a certain pace, I really appreciate that Universal was willing to just let the audience have that for 6 to 9 months in advance. And I think now that you've seen the film, you see how it does. It is the beginning of the story with that has a real echo in the way we end it.
Oh, definitely. So when you were developing the first film, so let's go back a bit, was there always somewhat of a story arc for three, or was it literally one by one?
There was a bit of an arc in a very basic skeletal structure for it that Derek Connolly and I came up with while we were driving. I had to drive my car back to Burlington, Vermont, where I lived after Jurassic World came out, and so he just went with me, and we drove across the country and talked about what the next two movies could be, and he and I wrote Fallen Kingdom together, and then Emily Carmichael and I wrote this film, and when Emily came in, it really gave us a new perspective and really an opportunity for me to be able to just have someone else look at the story we were telling and let it evolve in a direction that felt right for them. And that's why I'm so proud of this story because it's the combination of all of their instincts plus all of our actors. We all work
Yeah.
so closely on it throughout.
So was it always a plan to have the original trio drop in at some stage, or was it always the third film you're going to try and get them into?
We'd always felt like it was the third film because we wanted to make sure that by the time they shared the screen with our Jurassic World characters, with Owen and
Yeah.
Claire, that there was a generation who cared about those characters and was invested in their story. So it was earning them a place in the frame, alongside Laura Dern and Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum, which is a lot to ask.
For sure. And I was just wondering, like, I love the fact that it didn't feel forced when they were introduced. Like, it wasn't like a token, we're bringing back the old guys. The
Right.
way that the story flowed and you introduced each one, it felt like it flowed within the story and it wasn't just a here they are sort of scenario. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Um, what was it like wrangling them all though? Because at one stage you've got like what 7 or 8 primary character actors just on the screen in one scene.
Yeah. Sometimes one
Especially,
shot.
yeah. So
Yeah.
how hard is it to wrangle all that?
Um, it was it felt there was a time that Laura would always laugh that I was like, all right, everybody, you can all have like orange slices and Oreos if you can just walk from here to there. It was like a children's soccer team in moments, but we all had fun with it, and we all managed to create a balance that I'm most proud of because
Yeah.
the actors were so generous with each other. Nobody was trying to step in front of the other and get their moments. They all respected each other so much that when you do see them all in the frame, there's equal power, equal strength amongst everyone in the frame, which I think is honestly like due to them.
Yeah, and that sequence where they all get together is pretty great. I like that part of the film when they all get together. I was just wondering, do you let your actors like, do they have to stay on script or do you let them play a little bit? Because it felt like Jeff Goldblum's dialogue was very Jeff Goldblum in some
Yes, it
bit.
was. Yes, it was. Not necessarily. It's not whether I let anyone do it. It's just that we all, because we were making a movie under the circumstances we were in, we had to be really prepared when we came to set so we could move. And
Yeah,
so we actually would rehearse together on Sundays because we were all living together. And throughout the whole day, if a character, an actor had something they felt they wanted to say, they would throw it on the table. And I would say pretty much everyone in this movie has lines that they wrote themselves that they
yeah.
felt they would say, especially Jeff Goldblum.
So what was the when you're setting up for a sequence, because obviously you've got some big sequences in this film.
Yeah,
Let's look at the Raptor one with the motorbike chase with Pratt.
sure.
Do you previs the hell out of it? Do you storyboard it? like, because it seems like a really long sequence, and I'm watching it going, this would have been painful to put together and get right.
We boarded it geographically, and the way that I wanted it to feel was as if there was a camera person on a vehicle alongside or in the back who was just struggling to capture what was happening. So I didn't want the camera to glide as if it was some kind of digital sequence. So we really shot it understanding exactly what all of the elements were going to be, but allowing it to be chunky and kind of broken and loose, which is, I love all of those flaws. And it kind of broke the language of what these movies have been, because they're often, Steven's camera glides. And so we kind of, shook it up a little bit.
And just quickly, what's next for you? What are you working on now after you've left the dinosaur world?
I have a few things. I'm sure you've heard. I'm really fascinated with the civilization that existed here before we did, that fell into the sea, Atlantis, that had technology and flight and electricity, and then we lost it all.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I'm
well,
super
thank you.
into that.
Yeah, I would love to see a film about that. Thank you so much for your time. Love the film. Good luck with the release. And just quickly, I wish I saw your Star Wars film.
Oh, my man.
So thank you very much. Hopefully in the future.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.